Japanese Trike motorcycles were marketed as the next big breakthrough, offering a mix of stability and style. But instead of dominating the roads, they're now sitting untouched in showrooms. Buyers just aren't interested, and dealerships are cutting prices just to get them off the lot. Stick around to learn why these trikes failed to catch on, and which specific models are now being sold at rock-bottom prices. Number 7. Honda Goldwing Roadsmith Trike. The Honda Goldwing Roadsmith Trike was intended to be the pinnacle of touring motorcycles, delivering unmatched comfort, power, and stability. It was envisioned as the perfect machine for long-distance riders who valued luxury and dependability. But in reality, it missed the target, and now dealers are scrambling to find buyers interested in taking one home. Powering the Honda Goldwing Roadsmith Trike is the iconic 1833cc flat-six engine, renowned for producing 125 horsepower and 125 lb-ft of torque. This engine delivers the kind of smooth and relentless output that Goldwing fans expect. Its flat-six layout gives it a low center of gravity, which helps with stability and ensures a plush ride even at high speeds. Weighing close to 200 pounds, the Goldwing Roadsmith comes with a comprehensive touring setup built to carry both rider and passenger across long distances without sacrificing comfort. The Roadsmith conversion adds a reverse gear, a necessary addition given the bike's sheer size. Suspension-wise, it features a telescopic fork in the front and a dual shock setup in the rear, providing a smooth and balanced ride. Braking is handled by dual discs in the front and a single disc in the rear, ensuring solid and predictable stopping power whether you're rolling down highways or maneuvering in city traffic. Despite its feature-rich build and proven touring capability, the Roadsmith Trike didn't manage to capture its intended market. One of the key issues was the cost. With conversion kits alone often exceeding $10,000, many potential buyers felt the added expense just wasn't justified, especially when the standard two-wheeled Goldwing offered better agility for less money. Its bulk and size also made it impractical for daily use. While designed for distance, many touring fans still appreciate maneuverability, and the Roadsmith Trike felt too large and cumbersome, particularly in city environments or when parking. For casual riders not devoted to full-time touring, the sheer mass and limited agility were major drawbacks. Another setback was tied to brand loyalty. Longtime Goldwing enthusiasts who appreciated the balance and ease of the original two-wheeler were hesitant to embrace a trike. Many believed the extra wheel diminished the traditional riding experience, making it feel more like a car than a motorcycle. Despite being an engineering achievement, the Goldwing Roadsmith Trike failed to resonate with its core audience. Honda's attempt to blend three-wheeled stability with high-end touring comfort ended up being too niche to gain traction. With a steep price tag and limited real-world appeal, it's no surprise these trikes are now collecting dust in dealerships. Stay with us, because the next bike also aimed to combine practicality with comfort, but ended up being a bit too much. We've analyzed the specs, pored over rider feedback, and uncovered the reasons these iconic models just aren't selling. If our deep dive helps you avoid a costly mistake, hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Number 6. Yamaha Star Venture Trike. The Yamaha Star Venture Trike was introduced with the goal of redefining what a touring cruiser could be. Yamaha aimed to develop a trike that merged long-distance comfort with a tough, commanding look. It was designed to appeal to cruiser fans who loved power and stability, but also craved premium features. Sadly, that vision didn't connect with buyers, leaving dealers with surplus inventory. At the heart of the Star Venture Trike lies an 1854cc V-twin engine that produces 90 horsepower and 126 lb-ft of torque. It sounds ideal for a touring trike. Plenty of power and torque for highway cruising and load carrying. But once out on the open road, riders quickly realized performance numbers alone weren't enough to win them over. Tipping the scales at Roughly 960 pounds, this trike is hefty in every sense. It uses a telescopic front fork and a single rear shock for suspension, both designed for smooth riding over long distances. The braking system consists of dual front discs and a single rear disc, offering solid stopping performance. But even with solid engineering, the bike's massive weight significantly hampered its maneuverability. Riders found it tiring to make slow-speed turns or navigate through city streets. Instead of feeling impressed, many ended up frustrated. The trike's size became one of its biggest drawbacks. Yes, touring bikes are supposed to be imposing, but Yamaha pushed it too far. The result was a machine that was too difficult to handle in urban settings or when parking. Then there was the price. Starting at $32,500, the StarVenture Trike placed itself firmly in the high-end bracket. That pricing made it hard to justify, especially when compared to similar two-wheeled cruisers. Many potential buyers felt they were paying extra for features they didn't need, like deluxe seating and infotainment, while giving up the raw, unfiltered ride they loved in traditional cruisers. A further complication was the Trike's identity. Yamaha tried to market it as both a luxury touring machine and a rugged cruiser. That dual personality made it hard to categorize. Cruiser fans wanted a bold, stripped-down ride. Touring riders wanted comfort without losing classic appeal. In trying to satisfy both sides, the Trike ended up falling short for each. Ultimately, the StarVenture Trike is a clear example that more isn't always better. Adding features and size doesn't guarantee broader appeal. Yamaha's attempt to merge high-end touring with cruiser toughness missed the target, alienating purists and comfort seekers alike. And if you thought this bike tried to do too much, wait until you see our next entry. It attempted to combine old-school looks with three-wheeled stability, and the end result left plenty of riders shaking their heads. Number 5. Suzuki. Boulevard C90T Trike Suzuki set out to reimagine its iconic Boulevard series by converting it into a more stable three-wheeler. The idea sounded solid, but the final product failed to meet expectations, and dealerships were left with more units than they could move. Under the hood of the Boulevard Trike sits a 1462cc V-twin engine that produces 66 horsepower and 97 lb-ft of torque. On paper, it offers a reasonable mix of performance and stability, ideal for a cruiser-style trike. But once on the road, the shortcomings began to surface. The power, which felt fine for a two-wheeled bike, was noticeably less effective once saddled with the weight of the trike setup. Riders reported sluggish acceleration, especially from a stop or when climbing hills. The trike weighs in at around 965 pounds, making it heavy for a cruiser. It features a telescopic front fork and dual rear shocks meant to soften the ride and improve handling, but the added weight made it feel clumsy at low speeds. Braking is handled by a single disc in the front and one in the rear. Adequate, but not especially confidence-inspiring when dealing with the extra mass. Tight turns and sudden stops could feel sketchy, especially in city environments. The bulk of the trike and its awkward handling characteristics led to a lackluster riding experience. Cruiser fans, who usually appreciate a direct, visceral connection to their machines, found that the Boulevard Trike just didn't deliver. While the three-wheeled setup did offer better stability, it came at the cost of excitement and responsiveness. Visually, the Trike also lost some of its appeal. The original C90T had a bold, muscular look that drew in fans. The Trike conversion disrupted that clean design. The added wheels and stretched frame made the bike look less sleek and more bloated. In retrospect, the Boulevard Trike is a lesson in how difficult it is to merge innovation with tradition. While adding stability to a cruiser made sense in theory, the final product didn't quite fit any specific rider group. Coming up next is a trike that aimed to conquer city commuting, but couldn't connect with its intended audience. Stay tuned to find out how big ambitions and a small engine led to a major disappointment. Number 4. Yamaha Tricity 300. The Yamaha Tricity 300 set out with a clear goal: to make city commuting both safer and more stable. Yamaha promoted it as a game-changing trike that fused the steadiness of 3 wheels with the convenience of a scooter. On paper, it looked like the ideal solution for urban riders in need of a dependable, low-maintenance way to get through heavy traffic. But despite the promising pitch, the market didn't quite agree, and the Tricity failed to leave a strong impression. Powered by a 292cc single-cylinder engine, the Tricity 300 delivers 28 horsepower and 21 lb-ft of torque. These figures are modest, offering just enough power to handle day-to-day city riding without being too aggressive or overwhelming for less experienced riders. Weighing in at 474 lbs, it comes with Yamaha's leaning multi-wheel technology that lets the front wheels tilt into corners, significantly improving balance and control while turning. The suspension system includes telescopic front forks and a rear swing arm, engineered to absorb the bumps and jolts of urban terrain. Stopping duties are handled by dual front disc brakes and a single rear disc, which together offer consistent and responsive braking, an essential trait when dodging through unpredictable traffic. The overall riding experience is smooth, deliberate, and composed, especially in urban settings. However, despite all this engineering, the Tricity 300 didn't capture a wide audience. One of the main issues was its identity crisis. Riders weren't quite sure if it was a scooter with extra stability or a trike pretending to be something more than it was. Many potential buyers couldn't justify paying its price when traditional scooters or compact motorcycles offered more agility at a lower cost. Its futuristic, somewhat bulky look also didn't do it any favors. While the front end was designed for function, it ended up giving the bike a polarizing aesthetic, too unconventional for most scooter fans and too tame for motorcycle purists. And then there was the pricing. With an MSRP that edged close to $9,000, the Tricity 300 sat in an awkward spot. Too expensive for casual commuters, yet too underpowered for enthusiasts. In the end, the Yamaha Tricity 300 is a case of good intentions clashing with market realities. It brought innovation to the table, but its awkward styling, niche appeal, and premium price tag left it stuck in a category all its own. One few riders were eager to enter. Number 3. Kawasaki Vulcan 1700 Voyager Trike. Kawasaki tried to turn heads with the Vulcan 1700 Voyager Trike, aiming to deliver a luxury touring experience wrapped in a 3-wheeled package. The concept was clear. Combine Kawasaki's classic V-twin performance with the long-haul comforts of a full dresser, and then add the stability of a trike. But while the plan was ambitious, the end result failed to connect with buyers the way Kawasaki had hoped. At the heart of the Vulcan Voyager trike lies a 1700C V-twin engine that cranks out 73 horsepower and 100 lb-ft of torque. On paper, it looks solid for a tourer. The engine offers that signature V-twin rumble and delivers power in a steady, controlled way. Paired with a 6-speed transmission and electronic cruise control, it seems well-equipped for endless miles on the open road. With a curb weight hovering around 950 lbs, and even more with the trike conversion, this machine is undeniably heavy. The suspension setup features a traditional telescopic front fork and dual rear shocks. The trike kit typically includes a solid rear axle and adds extra weight, which affects overall handling. Braking is managed by dual front discs and a single rear disc, offering decent stopping capability for something this size. However, despite its specs, riders found the trike too cumbersome to be enjoyable. Its wide rear end made tight turns, a challenge, especially in urban environments or during parking. The added weight dulled the bike's acceleration and responsiveness, removing much of the raw excitement that Vulcan fans appreciated in the original 2-wheeled version. Another major issue was its styling. The Voyager was never the most modern-looking touring bike, and the trike conversion only exaggerated its bulky, dated appearance. What was once a classic-looking cruiser began to resemble a retirement scooter on steroids, a far cry from the rugged image Kawasaki built over the years. The price didn't help either. With conversion kits pushing the total cost well beyond $30,000, many potential buyers simply opted for lighter, more agile two-wheeled tourers that offered similar comfort at a lower price point. The Trike setup was seen as overkill, especially when it didn't significantly improve ride quality or practicality. Ultimately, the Vulcan 1700 Voyager Trike serves as a lesson in how a solid base model can get lost in translation. The attempt to bridge tradition with Trike stability backfired, leaving this heavyweight tourer struggling to find an audience. Number 2. Honda CTX 700 Trike. The Honda CTX 700 was originally designed as a user-friendly mid-sized cruiser, aimed at beginners and casual riders. With a low seat height, smooth power band, and automatic transmission, it was meant to be unintimidating and versatile. But once it was turned into a trike, everything that made it appealing in two-wheeled form seemed to vanish. Powering the CTX 700 Trike is a 670cc parallel twin engine that produces 48 horsepower and 44 lb-ft of torque. It's a modest engine, tuned for efficiency and ease rather than excitement. When paired with Honda's DCT automatic transmission, the ride becomes smooth and predictable, traits that appealed to commuting riders and those new to motorcycling. The Trike conversion, however, changed the dynamic entirely. The added weight from the third wheel and reinforcement structure pushed the bike's curb weight up considerably, well over 700 lbs. Suddenly, that modest engine began to feel underpowered. Acceleration lagged, especially on inclines or when carrying a passenger. Suspension includes a standard telescopic fork up front and dual shocks in the rear, though the ride quality suffered due to the additional bulk. Braking was managed by a single front disc and rear disc system, which, while adequate on the standard CTX 700, began to feel strained with the heavier Trike setup. Where the CTX 700 Trike truly fell apart was in its identity. The original two-wheeler had a niche appeal, somewhere between cruiser and commuter, but the Trike version erased much of that charm. It didn't have the performance to excite seasoned riders, nor did it maintain the accessibility that made it appealing to beginners. Visually, it also took a hit. The CTX 700's sleek, futuristic silhouette was compromised by the conversion, resulting in an awkward, disproportionate look. It didn't look like a classic Trike nor a true cruiser, and certainly not a scooter, just something stuck in the middle. With a price tag that easily exceeded $14,000 after conversion, buyers found it hard to justify. For that amount, there were far more capable or stylish alternatives available, whether in the form of traditional cruisers or purpose-built trikes. In the end, the CTX 700 Trike tried to make a beginner-friendly bike into a stable touring machine, but wound up creating something that didn't satisfy either purpose. Number 1. Suzuki Burgman 650 Executive. Suzuki Burgman 650 Executive Trike, a bike that tried to turn a luxury maxi scooter into a stable, three-wheeled commuting solution. It was meant to blend convenience, comfort, and utility into one accessible package. But in trying to do it all, it ended up doing very little right. The base Burgman 650 comes with a 638cc twin-cylinder engine producing 55 horsepower and 45 lb-ft of torque. That's more than enough for a scooter, delivering smooth, responsive performance through a CVT transmission. The automatic setup made it extremely user-friendly, and its electric windshield, heated grips, and ample storage space made it feel like a premium urban commuter. But once converted into a trike, things took a turn. The extra weight and widened rear axle diluted the Burgman's agility, which had been one of its strongest assets. It now weighed over 650 lbs, which made it harder to maneuver in traffic and a chore to park in tight spaces. The suspension, originally tuned for the lighter, two-wheeled format, struggled to manage the added bulk. And while the dual disc brakes up front and single rear disc tried their best, the overall stopping power felt muted under the increased load. Visually, the Trike version lost the sleek, modern profile that had earned the original Burgman a loyal following. The scooter's sharp edges and streamlined silhouette were compromised by the Trike hardware, making it look clunky and mismatched. Pricing was another blow, with Trike conversions often adding $8,000 or more to the original $11,000 price tag. Potential buyers were staring down a cost of nearly $20,000 for what was essentially a bulky scooter. And that just didn't sit well with most scooter enthusiasts, who value simplicity and efficiency over extravagance. In the end, the Suzuki Burgman 650 Executive Trike became an example of how good intentions don't always translate into good design. It aimed to be a comfortable, stable ride for urban commuters, but lost its identity and appeal in the process.